Greetings. I'm your brother, Brother Minister Wasim Muhammad, and welcome to another edition of the Wasim Muhammad Show that I'm always excited to represent to you some great people from the community. But I want to first start by thanking the mayor of this wonderful city, Mayor Dana Red, and her staff, particularly Ms. Novella Starks Henson. And I also want to thank the Camden City School Board of Education that I sit as a member on with our school board president, Ms. Martha Wilson, and our vice president, Ms. Felicia Reyes Morton. And I also want to thank the superintendent of this wonderful school district who's doing a fine job in turning this district around, Superintendent Payman Rahanaford. We always want to give homage and pay respect to those who make a way for you and I to present to you wonderful and great people that's in our community. But I'm sitting here today with a very interesting guests, and as we talk about, this is the beginning of Black History Month, and yes, Black History is 365 days a year. But we're going to highlight some wonderful people and individuals who's moving and shaking and doing wonderful things that's opening up doors for a lot of people, not only in Camden City, but throughout the county. Freeholder Jonathan Young. Greetings.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Absolutely.
I'm glad to have you here. Yep. Yes, sir. It's been fine. And we talked about this.
We have. It's been a while. We've been trying to get together for a while, but I'm happy to be here for sure.
Yes, sir. Yep. We're glad to have you here.
Thank you.
And I think that's wonderful to bring in such esteemed people, freeholder of Camden County, representing the whole county of Camden, and the interest that you have in working with our people. But I want to first start off by introducing yourself to the audience here in Camden City, to our young people, because the idea of this conversation, and this is the lively art of conversation, is to talk about some wonderful people that's doing great things in our community and outside the walls of Camden City, and to encourage our young people who are watching this show and the people in the community at large that there's people doing great things and doing good things in our community.
Thank you. Yep.
Yes, sir.
Well, as you said, my name is John Young, and 24-year resident of Camden County. Moved over from Philadelphia, got married, I had a kid. And my first bit over here, and actually dealing with the city of Camden, was when I got into construction, well, back into construction, I should say. And my first job was over at Royal Court, over by, used to be called the East Center at that time.
Correct, yes.
And so I started my construction career there and became a union carpenter off of that job there. And here I am 21 years later. Business agent for the Carpenters Union as my full-time job, and then had a real interest in public service and really making sure that the residents of Camden County have a great opportunity to be able to work and make a decent living. And one thing that I like to say a lot is that I like to replace the word job with career. Because if you want a job, then it's kind of a week by week thing. But career really feeds you for a lifetime.
Yes,
so that's really my interest in making sure that not only if it's not in the trades or whatever they do, that we stay on that career path and we really are a career-minded county.
Well, you're saying a lot of interesting things that we got. Of course, we have a whole hour segment to talk about this, but you're talking two things that gives me interest about you in particular is the construction trades, which can be very important to the children and the residents here in Camden City and throughout the county, because when everyone think about career, they think about doctor, lawyer, and all of those things. We really sometimes don't like to talk about the construction trades. And then we're going to, of course, talk about your public life as a freeholder, and that's wonderful to have people in position that can help people that's compassionate about, growing up in urban environments. And going back to that construction trade, how important do you think that is for young people to talk about and to be more interested into construction trades?
Well, if you really think about it, so I would probably say back when through the Clinton years, right? They had, when the big internet boom was coming, and everybody started, wanting to become engineers and scientists and all this other things here. And I think the trade value of it, or the people who actually, with their hands built this great nation of ours, they kind of got lost in the sauce a little bit, and they kind of got to the point where it's just like, the trades are kind of just, they're secondhand, and you started to see that dwindle. But, when you get a trade that allows you to make a very good wage while you're working and provides you benefits, provides you a pension, provides you an annuity, provides you safety in your workplace, that's not a job. Right? That's something that you can put 30 years in, and when you retire with some dignity, and you retire on a good living, where if you see most people who retire from a job or from jobs and not having a career, then what ends up happening is you see them again out working, miscellaneous jobs, just trying to make ends meet. So, that's what's important to me, that I can live today. And I'm knowing that when I retire, I can still maintain my lifestyle, and that's what union trade does for you. And that's something that we really try to promote. And the biggest thing about it is your health care. We have a very good program that you go on. We're not dependent on any government agencies to do it. In the state of New Jersey, for the Carpenters Union alone, we have over 8,700 contractors who are signed with the Carpenters Union. And so what they do is they're actually ones who's paying our freight, right? So they're actually the ones who are making sure that our benefit are paid, and they buy into it. They understand the value of 8 hours work for 8 hours pay. And that's all. And that's what it's really all about.
Yeah. Well, see, we're gonna have so much information that's gonna come out on this particular show, and that's why I'm so excited and privileged that you are here. And sometimes we got to get our young people to know, say that who you are. We connect with people and things. And I want to go back because I wanted to get to the construction trades so fast, because I know how important it is, especially when you're dealing in an urban environment with young as we're helping to uplift our educational system and different things like that. But talk to the young people, because you grew up in an urban environment. You grew up in Philadelphia.
I did. I grew up in Philadelphia. I grew up in the suburbs of Philadelphia, out in Sharon Hill, Pennsylvania. But I spent a lot of time. Most of my family, my grandmother was from Southwest Philadelphia, so I spent a lot of time in the city. I spent a lot of time watching my father, nurture city kids, and through his work as a deacon in Mount Zion Baptist Church.
Oh, okay. So he's a PK, huh?
Yeah. Oh yeah. So
Yes,
when you start to talk about urban settings and people in the trades and how they go, it's an honest living. I mean, it really is, right? I mean, I can remember, when I started up, I go to bed every night and I put my head on the pillow knowing that I'm good.
Yes,
right? I'm not looking over my shoulder. I'm not doing anything. And it's a wonderful feeling to know that, hey, I'm paying my taxes. I'm law abiding, and I'm doing the right thing. And it means so much. Especially, I got 2 boys that come up behind me, right? So you're a true product of your environment, right? So as you come up, and I watch my father work his tail off, working for SEPTA, doing the whole 9 yards. So that's where my work ethic came from. Now I'm watching my boys, and I got my youngest boy, he's in the trades now, right? So my oldest boy, he's in the trades now. So I'm watching him and his work ethic and how it's going. And I'm watching my younger boy come right behind me. So you're a product of your environment. So if you take that same setting and you reverse it, and you want to sit out there and you want to hang out in the corners, you want to do the whole 9 thing, think about the people who you're influencing to do the same thing. And that's why the cycle just continues down the road. So I try to really make it my mission to speak to the youth, and on the real, you know what I mean? And I tell anybody who has a program out there, you know what I mean? This here, what I have on, you know what I mean? I was rushing around, and
yes,
I almost came in here in jeans and a regular shirt because
Yes,
I want folks to know that this, you dress for TV, you know what I mean? But my real, I don't wear a tie and suit every day to work. You know what I mean? So I'm a blue collar guy.
Yes,
and I'll get in the trenches with anybody and do anything on it. So we really want to make sure that we purvey that. And the most important thing about the trades, Carpenters Union in particular, and I'm going to talk about that a lot because that's who I am.
That's what you are, is what you do, yes, sir.
5-year apprenticeship program, 27 college credits when you graduate, all right? And the greatest thing about it is when you get out of that school at the end of 5 years, you don't know nobody a dime.
Oh.
You don't have no college debt. You don't have any college
Yes,
debt at
sir.
all, and you have a career.
Yes,
So if
sir.
you're good with your hands, right, and you really don't think that school is really you, and you don't know what you're doing, you really think that you're good with your hands, a union trade's the best way to go.
Oh man, that's a lot of information, and I see you talking a lot. And as I'm tuning into, listening to what you're saying, I see that you have a real respect and value for family. How important is that?
My wife changed my life, and I can't tell you how many folks I have said, "You want to change your life? You want to find yourself a good woman." Right?
Yes.
Get a family, and rise up together, because you can do a lot by yourself, but I would not be sitting in this seat today if it wasn't for my wife. If it wasn't for a good, strong family background, a good, strong foundation that do it. My family in particular, my grandfather, my father, my parents, I'm fortunate to grow up with a mom and a dad in my family.
Yes, sir.
So important into
Yes,
it.
sir.
Before my father passed at 62 years old, they were married 40 plus years. My grandmother's still living, she's 96. My grandfather passed about 10 years ago. They would have been married 70 plus years. That's a great foundation.
That's right.
That's something that you cherish. And again, you're a product of your environment. So you understand the value of having a good woman by your side, and you understand the value of having a great family surrounding you to help you lift up and go.
Foundation.
Absolutely,
And,
absolutely. It's very, very important.
Yes,
very
sir.
important.
And I think you answered that well, and that's the message that we're trying to convey.
Absolutely.
Here in the community, and it's very important.
Yep.
That young people will get to hear that, and we're going to, as I was going to, what you talking about the construction trades, and we're going to talk about a lot. I see the passion, and that's the root and the foundation
Absolutely.
of what it is. That's what I'm trying to tell, that's what I'm trying to tell my son here.
That's right.
Put a shout out to him. I always try to put him on spotlight.
Sure.
He said, you can't shame a man.
That's right.
He'll try to do it. But I know we have a lot that we're going to go into, and I know we're winding down on this particular segment of this particular show. But getting back to those construction trades. Now, if I were a young person, and I know we're going to go more on this after we take a quick break, and I wanted to get into that, what inspiration or what direction do I need to go? Because I know as a freeholder, you sit under some wonderful committees that you oversee, and I want to talk to the community about that.
There's a couple different ways. So I know just recently we had a trade job fair down at the Water Tech Center. I think we had about 300 applicants that came through. We have a pre-apprenticeship vetting service called the UOSS that is involved in it, and that does our training. It helps get these individuals in the urban communities who might need some extra wraparound services to help them out in order for them to get employed through the trades. You could do it that way there. If you're ready to go and you're ready to rock and roll, you can always go online and look up whatever trade that you want to be involved in. Go down there, take their test, get to pass through the test, and go through it that way through our VOTEX. We're doing a lot. I know, again, as the Carpenters Union, what we do is your top 3 students that come out of VOTEC, we give them a direct path coming into the trades. So that's what our Pennsauken campus, and along with our Gloucester Township, Sicklerville campus as well. And then just average people who are walking off the street, people who you might know. And for those who think that it's all about family oriented and the way to go into it, you know what I mean? I'm a first generation guy, moved over from Philadelphia over to here. And 21 years later, I'm the first African American business agent in the state of New Jersey for the Carpenters Union. So for those who think that the urban person or blacks can't make it in this trade, I'm living proof that you are.
Well, community, there you go. You have it. As we wind down on this particular segment of the Wasim Muhammad Show, don't go nowhere. Don't touch that remote. We'll be right back. And as we deem to do with this particular show, as we said it from the very beginning, we inspired, we involved to give you inspiration, and now you're getting the information. Those two things I think that we need in the community. So don't touch that dial. We'll be right back.
Greetings, parents. Welcome back to the 2016-2017 school year. My name is Danielle Strand, and I will be serving as your Family and Operations Coordinator here at Camden Big Picture Learning Academy. I am proud to say that I have previously worked in the school district for 18 years and a graduate of Camden High School. I will be here to provide resources for you and also provide various parent programs throughout the school year. I am excited to have this opportunity to welcome you and encourage you to get involved with your children, our school, and the community. I really look forward to meeting you.
And welcome back. And we're here with Freeholder Jonathan Young, and we're talking about some very interesting things that I think a lot of information that our community need to hear, not only in Camden, but in and around Camden as well, too, when you talk about the construction trades and a few of the committees that you said that you sit over. We're going to talk about that, what you do at the One Stop and things that I know you and I have extensively had some great conversation and talking about the heavy lifting that we have to do, you know, as public servants and what you do. You know, you can tell from your background how you came up. You know, and sometimes, you know, what do we say to people who want to hold on to excuses and say that, you know, we don't have opportunities and, you know, and it's opportunities is rough for, and we know that we have challenges in our community. I mean, I'd be the first to say that, but I think we share the same sentiment about those things. I don't know if the background is our foundation, because I too grew up with, I'm fortunate enough to grow up with a mother and father in my household, and it made a world of difference of setting the foundation that I'm trying to express to my younger children here. You know, excuses only get you one place, right? And that's chasing your tail, right? Yes. Just keep running around in circles with it, right? Sir. So if it's always woe is me, and not willing to help yourself out, you know, people won't want to reach out to help you. So, prime example was when USS started and we started going through, and I look at, you know, I guess I'm kind of harder on people because I look at my story and what I've done in my career, and how, you know, I just sucked it up and kept moving, pushing forward, right? So there's a process, and we talked about this very, very briefly, but we talk about, me and you off camera talk about this a lot. So there's a couple ways you can look at life, right? So if you're going straight and you got everything together and you're going through school and everything's good and you're rolling, your process of getting there it might be a little shorter to get there, right? Correct. But then somewhere in your life you stumble and you fall, which everybody does, right? Yes, sir. So, but at that point that you stumble and fall, you have a choice to either want to get back on the right path, all right, or you want to stay on that negative path and blame everybody instead of manning up and saying, you know what, I made this mistake, I did it, I'm going to own it, and let me keep moving, right? That's right. So, prime example, you got two kids walking down the street, all right? One, bright lights, right? One, dark alley, right? Now, the great thing about it is that when you go and you take these two different paths, right, there's always offshoot streets, right, that connect each other, right? Yes, so that kid that goes in the bright lights and is having a good time, he can make that right turn and get on the dark side. Yes, and the same thing for the kid that's on the dark side can make that left turn and get on the bright side, right? Yes, sir. So, but it's up to you. And that's where we talk about that foundation. And that's where we talk about your morals. And that's where we talk about how that can get you through. Because what you've learned, right, no matter what happens, everybody's going to stumble and everybody's going to fall. But that foundation has been built for you, will keep you in mind that you need to get back on the right path. And hopefully that you'll find that way and you'll get back on the right path. So when you look at the process, no matter how long or how short your process is, your end goal is to be successful. And you can determine success any way you want to determine it. For me, success is not being filthy rich, right?
being able to live, being able to care for my family, right? And being able to, when that day comes, when my number's called, right? I want to be able to say, or I want somebody to be able to say, hey, he did such and such for this, right? So it's how you want to leave your mark on this world is your success. That's what it means to me. So success is not always about the lights and the glam and the glitter. Hey, listen, some people get it, and that's fine. You know what I mean? But that's what you chose to do.
Yes,
that
sir.
was your gift. Your
Yes,
gift was
sir.
to be a rapper. Your gift was to be a singer. Your gift was to be an athlete,
Yes,
right?
sir.
My gift is to sit here and work hard, all
Yes,
right,
sir.
and be a servant to the people. That's what my gift is.
Yes,
so
sir.
I'm going to use it to the best of my ability and be successful at it.
And this is why we champion guys like you to, to continue and encourage, guys like you. And it's been, pardon me for calling you guys.
That's fine. No, I'm good. Yeah.
But to encourage, men and gentlemen like you to continue to go on what you're doing. And this is why, as we have always had these conversations, I wanted to put this on film, so that we can archive this and have this message and talk about this in the city of Camden. And real quick, just a little shift. I give you greetings from Mayor Dana Red, and she's having a Super Bowl
I guess.
thing. How she's passionate about her football. And what do you think about the legacy and things, what's going on in Camden, the changes that you've seen happening in Camden? What do you think about that?
Well, like I said, I started in Camden 20 years ago. And so I've kind of seen the city evolve to what it is today. There's been a lot of, hey, we're going to build, we're going to go, we're going to do this, we're going to do that, right? And nothing ever seems to get going. So from a county point of view and from a public official point of view, if you look at it, we're only as strong as our weakest link. And I don't want anybody to take that, oh my God, he's calling Camden a weakest link.
Yeah,
right?
got you.
But the bottom line of it is that you're only as strong as, so we all need to rise up together, right?
Correct.
Every county needs a strong metropolitan, right?
That's
They
right.
need a thriving city to really get, you look across that water, right?
Yeah.
That city's thriving over there. That city's starting to build up. You go up 95, right? You go up 295 and go up the expressway there, and you get to New York City. That city's thriving, right? So that thrives, everything around it starts to increase and starts to grow, right?
Yes,
So for us to sit around and walk around and you go back and you look at the old pictures of Camden City, it was thriving, it was jumping, right?
Correct.
So now everybody decided to go. So now they're all deciding to come back. No matter what the reason was that they decided to come back, and everybody's, oh my goodness, we're giving everybody tax breaks and blah, blah, blah. It's not about those tax breaks, right? It's about what happens in the wraparound service and the wraparound dollars that filter out to the community. So now it's a time for the residents of Camden City to figure out what they need to do, all right? As far as entrepreneurship, right? You're gonna have all these businesses coming in. They need to eat somewhere.
That's right.
Folks can cook. Folks have some dreams and ambitions. So what do? Right? So we encourage them, not only don't get so caught up in the construction world, oh, I need to be, hey, not everybody wants to be a tradesperson, right?
Correct.
So you're gonna have people that you're gonna need your wraparound services for, right? As this city starts to grow up, as the county starts to grow up, our health system is going to start to grow as well, right? So there's your opportunity for your nurses. There's your opportunities for your new doctors coming
Eds
through.
and meds program.
The whole
Correct.
9 yards for it, right? So, and if you can't see what Rutgers is trying to do in the city, it's crazy, right? I mean, where else can you go to school? And if you're making underneath the poverty level, they're letting you go get a full education for $60,000 a year.
Yes, sir.
Right? So that's somebody who's giving back to the community, who understands that, hey, I'm in your city, and we want to make sure that we can help you thrive on it. Now, we can either sit back and complain about it and say, oh, that's all they're doing is building, or you can take advantage of what they're trying to offer you.
Yes, sir.
Right?
Now, yes, sir. So bring that home, and that's the point. The question that
Right.
you're leading into, what I was going to talk about next, is that the fact that sometimes people in our community get into this this old paradigm, and I'm always trying to change the narrative as what we try to do to get people to think, and then after they think, react, and then move.
That's right. That's right.
There's people in the community who say, well, the county is going to take over. They're going to do this and they're going to do that. Well, I don't think it's bad to have a relationship with the city and the county because it is Camden County.
Right.
Camden City
Sure,
is
absolutely.
the hub,
Right.
the city and Camden.
right.
So let's dispel that darkness. As we know, light dispels darkness. So let's dispel that darkness, why it's so important, because you're talking more about it, but I wanted to bring it home for the, in layman's terms so that our people can understand what we're talking about. You know?
Let's think about how you stumble and you fall on your own. You stumble, you fall on your own. You stumble, you fall on your own, right? Now all of a sudden somebody goes, hey, let me give you a hand here. Let's help you move forward here, right? At that point you got a choice, right? Either you're going to keep stumbling and falling and keep running into that same old rut and have it keep collapsing around you, or you're going to say, you know what? I think I might give you an opportunity. I think I might give you a chance. I think that let's brush off what happened before, and let's really take a look at it and see the honesty of it, and let's see what's happening. And if you cannot see the progress in front of you, right? And I say it, and look, bottom line is this. Either you're going to jump on the train, all right, or you're going to get ran over by the train, right? And not to say that the county is the train, right? But I'm saying,
you're making the point home. You're
right.
making the point home. Go
If
ahead.
you see what's going on in this city, and you see the development that's going on, and you see the opportunity that's going on, government cannot create jobs, right? But what we do is we create the opportunity for folks to get careers and folks to go to work and create that, right?
Correct.
So Broadway used to be jewelry stores. It used to be going on. Drive up and down. Look at it now, right? Wouldn't you want that back? Wouldn't you want to be able to walk around and really say, hey, I really feel safe here. I really feel safe, right? Everybody's like, oh, the Camden County Police, blah, blah. You know, hey, listen, the bottom line of it is that we're not where we need to be, but we're a lot safer than we were.
Yes, sir.
Right? And that's the progress, right? Don't get in the way of the progress.
Correct.
Get involved in it and keep it moving.
Well, that's one of the things that you're over in the committees that you're over as a freeholder is public safety.
Yep.
And great shout out to Freeholder Director Lou Capelli.
Absolutely.
In the Camden County Metro through Chief Scott Thompson of the job that they're doing in Camden. As you just say here, we always say we know there's progress made, but there's a whole lot more to do.
That's right.
And that community policing thing, as you know, I've always been an advocate of it, of community policing, because I think community policing not only starts with Camden County Metro, but it starts with the people in the community.
That's right, because it's two words, right?
Correct.
It's two words, community, policing. So you already got the police, but you need the community to join together, and that's where you really get that true community policing from.
Yes.
And that's what happens with it. And people go, oh yeah, you go in the suburbs. You look at it, right? You got in the suburbs, man. You can walk around and you know your police officer's name. You have a good relationship with them. You do the whole 9 words. It's no different from the city. You know what I mean? But you got to get away from that thing that they're the bad guys. They got a job to do. Right?
Correct.
They have a job to do. So if you're breaking the law, it ain't the cop's fault that he came and arrested you. It's your fault that you broke the law.
That's right.
You know what I mean? So, and that's when I say we got to own up. Right? We got to fess up and we got to man up.
That's
and
right.
We got to figure it out.
I like that phrase.
Yeah.
Own up, fess up, and man
That's
up.
right.
Because
That's
it's about accountability.
That's what it's all about.
And that's where we at.
That's
now.
right.
Anybody that know what the conversation should be around the community, because you know, we talk about Black History Month, and I want to just commend you for being that black man, that image of a black man in our community who's making history as we speak.
Thank you.
And sometimes we always go back words to Black history, and we always got a foundation we stand up. And sometimes it makes it very difficult to look people right in the eyes who's doing great things and encourage them in our community, continue to do encouraging things in our community. And I tell you, you walking that walk, and we really appreciate you here.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
don't go nowhere. As we see, we have him here for another half of the segment. We're not going to go anywhere. You see now why I like sitting down talking to this gentleman. Because we have to have a diverse group of ideas, especially when we all moving in the same direction. Sometimes when we're in certain communities, in certain environments, our conversation may sometimes get, just come from that straight line. A conversation has a whole 360-degree circle of ideas that we must share with our people and our young people in our community. So don't go nowhere. We're going to come back with Freeholder Jonathan Young. We'll be right back.
Hi, my name is Lydia Carrero. I am the Family Operations Coordinator here at Wiggins College Preparatory Lab Family School. And my priority is to make sure that my families have everything they need. Questions or concerns? Contact me. 856-966-5120, extension 29421. Hope to see you there. Hola, bienvenidos a la Escuela de Wiggins. Yo soy Lidia Carrero, la coordinadora de Familia y Operaciones. Espero verles este año para poder trabajar juntos para mejorar la educación de sus hijos. ¿Tienes preguntas y cuestiones? Favor, llámeme a mí, 856-966-5120, extensión 29421. Espero verles.
And once again, we're back with freeholder Jonathan Young, and we're having a great conversation of giving you not only information, but inspiring some of our young people that you can go into the construction trades, you can be a blue-collar worker, you can be whatever you want to be to help to make our community a decent place to live. And before we went back on the last segment, we were just talking about some interesting things. I want to get into a little more to your public life of what you do as a freeholder, and talk to the young people in the community, and the people that's watching. We got a lot of viewers that watch this show. What it is that you do on a daily basis, what is expected of you, what exactly is the freeholder board, and just educate us a little bit.
So what we're the freeholder position is the oldest form of government that there is. Mm-hmm. And what we do is we provide services. We don't create law. We do resolutions and policy. Mm-hmm. So I'm the liaison over, I have public safety, sustainability, and workforce development. Mm-hmm. So under public safety, I have the county jail, the juvenile detention center. Mm-hmm. I have the Office of Sustainability. I have communications, which is 911, Office of Emergency Management also oversee. The WIB and the
you a freshman freeholder?
I am a freshman freeholder.
Well, that's a lot of responsibility. Yeah, a lot of heavy lifting in that.
It is.
Well.
It is. So, a lot of people don't realize it is. Even though public service is a full-time lifestyle, I'll say. The actual position of a freeholder is really a part-time position. So, like I said, I'm a full-time business agent for the Carpenters Union is what I do on a full-time basis. So we have professionals that run our departments, and we just kind of really set policy and just kind of really keep the ship steering straight pretty much. So I know we do some great initiatives through our county jail. I just swore in just last 4 or 5 months ago, our first female warden, Warden Karen Taylor, in the jail. Yeah. Our director, David Owens, which has 60 years of experience in correctionals, great guy. Correct. And then down in our communications center, where we're doing some really amazing things with 911, and we implemented a couple programs, Text 911, which is really a great program for if you can't talk. If you can't dial 911 physically, you're able to text 911, which is really good for home invasions, which is really good for domestic abuses. So it kind of gives them a way to, you can imagine yourself sitting in a closet, right? And home invasions coming in, you can't talk on the phone, you can text all your information on it. Our latest program that we just rolled out is called Smart 911. And what you do is, as a resident of the county, you build a profile. And within that profile, you can put anything you want in there. You can put in how many dogs you have, how many entry points you have in your house, your allergies, whatever you want to build that profile. So now when you call 911, your profile pops up. So now you're able to tell you're able to tell the dispatch, you're able to tell the first responders, hey, they're allergic to latex. They got latex allergies, or when you get there, their medication for their heart disease is in the top drawer over here. So it really allows
technology work.
That's right. It really allows that first responder to shave seconds off, and that's what 911 or first responders and that stuff there. The more seconds you can shave off, the better chance you have of them saving your life. And then Work Stop, the One Stop, phenomenal program down there. Yes. They do great things, and that's kind of really, when we talk about job education and we talk about wraparound services, That's it. So the one-stop traditionally used to be, you know, hey, transfer from welfare to work. And a lot of people don't realize what goes on down there. Since the crash of 2008, when everything went haywire, we've had CEOs and we've had everybody come down there, get retooled, get retrained, and get back out into the workforce. Right now, our biggest concentration are on 16 to 24-year-olds, who are, that seems to be the dropout
big
issue.
Press conference for that, and I think that was, I think that speaks well to the volumes of, speaks volumes to what we are trying to get the young people in Camden with that program.
That's right.
I'm glad you went
That's
into
right.
it.
And a lot of people, you know, there are programs all over the place, right? So you have different entities throughout. You have the Youth Bills is dealing with them. You have Reverend Green, I forget the name of her church up there. She's dealing with them. The One Stop's dealing with it. Everybody's dealing with this thing. So when I first came on board, you know, everybody's like, hey, freeholder, hey, you know, we're gonna talk to you. And so you said, well, wait a minute, you know, I don't get this. You know, everybody's fighting over the same grant. Everybody's doing the same thing. And everybody's pulling it in all different directions. Why can't we all get together and figure out what we need to do? Because we're one program is concentrating on that same age group, right? So they only might have so many resources. So what do you do, right? So now we want to try to start linking these programs together where they can say, hey, you know what? I'll give you your wraparound services, but what you are lacking here, they have it over here. So that's kind of funnel you through. And then we start getting everybody working together. And now you're starting to see, you want to start to see everybody rising up at the same, on the same tide, right?
Yes.
So, so that's some of the things that we're really trying to work on. I'm really trying to push the entrepreneurship stuff.
Yeah, we was talking about that.
That's
during the break,
huge.
that entrepreneur thing. And I want you to, you know, talk to our people about that.
So you know, we want to try to find out, and I use the old adage, you know, and I want to kind of back up just a little bit when we start talking about the naysayers and start talking about everybody. And I got a statement, right? So when in Rome, do as the Romans do, right? But when you're in Rome, you know, you want to be able to change Rome, right? So, but you have to be able to conversate, and you have to be able to get involved with those folks, no matter where they are, right? So when you start talking about entrepreneurship and you start talking about things that's going on, you want to be able to have the resources for them, right? So. So I'm trying to put some things together and try to start talking to some banking institutes and see if we can't get them to start running some seminars for us, and they can start talking about, you know, how do I go for a business loan? What do I do? You know what I mean? How do I implement that? Who do I talk to? And we start getting these information out there, and the more information they get out there, the better chance that the person has an idea, they can really get it going. So that's what we're trying to do with our entrepreneurs.
Yes, sir. And I think you talked about some interesting things with the entrepreneur and working with that, because you talk about a lot of the construction that's coming into Camden now. And, you know, you was talking off camera about, you know, that after these buildings are built, then there's going to be things wrapped around like a janitor service. You know, the building have to be cleaned and all these type of, and we bring that in as you talk about careers.
That's right.
And entrepreneurship, and why you trying to bring all that together. And you talk interesting about also too about Reverend Green over there on Haddon Avenue. Our sister is doing a wonderful job.
Absolutely.
Strong, powerful
sister
that's doing the job there, but she's also working with those services of getting our young people ready to work. You know, and talk a little bit about that. Our young people getting them ready to work more.
Well, it's all about having your dedication, right? Having your thing. So, and we talked about this before. I talked in the mayor's Congress, right? The community Congress, and we talked about that. So, and we talked about how, you know, 3 basic steps on getting into the trades and getting to the whole thing. And, you know, you were talking about driver's license, GED, right? The most important thing about it, right, it's a willingness to work and a willingness to want to do it.
That's the engine.
That's right. That's the whole idea of it. So instead of us having, when you talk to these 16 to 24s, school dropouts, the high school dropouts, some of them, right? And you try to figure out, what made you drop out, right? What made you, was it the pressure of your parents talking down to you? Was it pressure of your peers or whatever? So I think the more that we can relate and get them involved in the conversation, find out exactly what they want to do, and then I do what's called a build a book, right? So now I want to kind of build the program around those individuals. So this way here, we're setting them up for success and not for failure.
Yes, sir.
And that's the whole.
Well, I see now why you reached out. We was talking about Twitter earlier.
That's right.
I just got Facebook down too. I see why now you're trying to get interested with that and talk about that. You know,
that's it. Yeah.
Because we just, I too is trying to figure out Twitter and Instagram. I mean, I just learned Facebook. You know? I just got that down pat.
You do a pretty good job over there because your live feeds are pretty good. Your live feeds are pretty good.
There they
are.
We appreciate it.
Yeah.
And, it's great to talk to you about your public life, and you talk about public safety at committee. You talk about job readiness, that you are there, and that family thing is really, really bringing it all together. And I see that you are definitely the right man for the job, and the spirit that you bring. And one of the reasons, I like talking to you, you're a straight shooter. Yeah. And you tell me, we're saying what it is, and you feel the passion of what you're talking about, and that you know what you're talking about because you've been around.
That's right. That's right. And, one thing you're learning in life that you can't BS a BSer, right?
That's right.
So once you really start getting through it, and that's all people want to hear, right? Sometimes the truth hurts. You know what I mean? But the fact of the matter is the truth helps. That's right? Because you need to know your faults. You need to know where you're messing up and in order for you to correct it. And as long as we keep babying and pampering and going through, that's what you're going to have, right? Correct. You're going to have that society who wants to be pampered, right? And that's not how you succeed. That's not how it works. That's not how you get through the process because you always think you're owed something, right? You got to work for it, right? And we talked about this a little bit off air, right? Correct. I don't need a guy walking through the door day one thinking he's going to be, what do you mean I gotta do this? What about what he's doing over there? What he's doing over there took 10 years, took 15 years.
You don't know the background.
Pay your dues.
That's right.
Understand the process. Understand what you need to do to succeed.
Correct.
Get a plan, write it down, follow it, and go get it done.
Yeah, I think that's the conversation backdrop that our young men and women need to hear in our community, because of the fact of the matter is, we definitely, that everybody plays their role as we're talking about. Some people, we're going to stay on the system. We're going to stay in there. We're going to stay on systemic racism. But some of us got to talk about the foundation of what are we going to do?
That's right. That's right.
What are we going to own? What are we going to own with that? And that's why I like conversating you with that, because I come from that background. It's about you. What are you going to do? Yeah, that is that. That's that. Okay, now what are we going to do?
That's right.
What are you going to do?
That's right.
And that foundation, and I see it in your work ethic of coming from the construction trades, of that no nonsense kind of conversation.
That's right.
If you want to talk to someone, as you said, the truth only hurts the guilty.
That's right. That's right.
That's the only truth only hurts the guilty. If you're guilty of something, the truth gonna hurt.
That's right.
Other than that, you're gonna take it for what it is, and you're gonna bring it home and keep it moving. So
it's nothing wrong with constructive criticism, and once you do it, and you need it, right? It's healthy.
Yes.
And you just have healthy conversations, and you figure it out. And once you hear it, you let it soak in a little bit, and you know what? You go home, look yourself in the mirror.
Go ahead.
And you ask yourself that same question. And you be honest with yourself, because now ain't nobody else around. So you just be honest with yourself, and you figure it out.
That's right, and that's life.
That's it. Life in a nutshell.
You got to be honest with yourself.
That's
first.
right. That's
right.
Yes,
sir. Yeah. So as we wind down on this particular segment, and we're going to come back in our last segment with Freeholder Jonathan Young, as I know that you enjoy this conversation, and I do, as every time I get the opportunity to sit down and talk with this gentleman. But we're going to come back, and we're going to backdrop a little bit. We're going to talk a little more about the foundation, the root, the community, and family. I want to end on that note because I think he brings a strong presence in that. And so let someone know that the Wasim Muhammad Show is on the air, and come down, sit down as a family, and maybe view it together. And we're stronger together as a family, and this is what we're trying to bring back to our beloved city, is that family atmosphere. So don't go nowhere. I always say, my daughter always say, Dad, don't nobody have a doll anymore. They have a remote. So don't you touch that remote. We'll be right back.
Hi, welcome parents. My name is Naisha Davis. I am the Family and Operations Coordinator for RT Cream School. On behalf of Cream School staff and administration, I'd like to welcome you to our Parent Resource Room located in room 100. I look forward to seeing you. Let's have an awesome year.
And we're back as we wind down this last segment of the Wasim Muhammad Show with Fielder Jonathan Young. I know I'm enjoying this conversation, but I think it's very befitting as we're trying to, we'll be talking about not only Black History Month this month, which is 365 days a year, but you know, I have strong family values, and family values mean everything. And you say you've been married to the same woman for some years now. That
21 years.
21 years.
21
It's hard to
years.
stay in conversation with 21 days.
That's
But
right.
I always want men to give
That's
shout
right.
out to
That's
their
right.
beloved wife and family, because if we don't do that, and they say happy wife, happy life.
That's right. That's right.
But you say you have 2 children.
I do.
Ages of them?
My oldest boy's 21, my youngest boy's 16.
16, and
Yeah.
I know that's a joy.
It is.
enjoy that,
It is.
yeah.
You know, and it's really good to see that, you know, the streets can take anybody, right? But it's really good to see when you get kids on the right path and you're really involved in their life. They played a lot of travel baseball. I was fortunate enough to be able to become a coach and really work with the youth. And that's what I really got my passion for the youth, was when I started coaching basketball and baseball and football, and really understanding that, you know, some of them single moms bringing their kids down, and those kids clinging on to that father figure, and that's when I really started to get touched. It got to a point where my kids wasn't even in the baseball program, and I was still running the baseball. Yeah, still running the
Yes.
baseball program. So you know, my wife wasn't too happy about it, but you know what I mean, but she understood, right? So
Yes.
and she understood what my mission was and what my purpose was, and which is real important, right? So I can remember. So we got married '94. And I was a young apprentice, and she was making more than me, right? Which, hey, it is what it is, right? You still got to pay the bills no matter what.
That's right.
So, but she supported me through all that change. So then, as I came up and I became a journeyman, and my career really started to take off, you know, we had my oldest boy, then 5 years later, I had my youngest boy. So then she wanted to kind of be more of, you know, mom and kind of hang out and do some other things. You know, she started to really be a nurturing mother and take care of her. And I'm just dad out working. I can remember working 7 days a week, you know, doing side jobs, you know, working regular during the week, just trying to make it happen.
That's right.
And then later in life, you know, she always had a mission that she wanted to be a nurse. So she wanted to become an LPN. So I said to her, so let me ask you a question. I go, at some point, are you want to take it to the fullest extent and be an RN? She goes, yeah. I said, so why start there and then get into a rut, and now you got to, I said, just go. Just go and do it. So so now the roles were reversed a little bit, and I supported her fully as she went through school and got her RN degree. And she has a bachelor's as a registered nurse. Yes. You know, working over in Virtua.
Well,
but
they
that's
say
that.
she's our helpmeet, right?
That's right.
Help a man meet his goals.
That's right.
And that's what it's all.
That's
and vice
right.
versa,
That's right.
as we help her to meet her goals today,
Yep.
because the traditional family has changed
That's
over
right.
the years.
That's
and
it.
Those of us who have that root, I think that's wonderful, because I too, my wife is older than me. She graduated a year before me from Camden High School.
Gotcha.
Stephanie did, and she, as she graduated, I was a senior in high school. We were together in high school. You know, she practically was almost taking care of me at the time.
Sure.
She was invested in her future.
Right.
I went on to play basketball and college scholarship. We got married, so we took her on there, had our first child, my daughter, Sierra. So, as a student athlete, I could not work being on scholarship.
That's right.
So she was investing in her future. And now, just like you said that when the tables turned and I became an educator, and then I became the breadwinner, and she went back to school
That's right.
and
That's
started
it.
working on her future.
Yep.
So I
Yep.
like that. I
Yeah.
mean, that's just that family values we talk
and,
about.
and I mean, and it's so important to, you know, not get hooked up on, you know, oh, I need to, you know, I got to be the strong guy. And
Yes, sir,
listen, you, it's simple. It's easy to talk about it, right? But the actual walk that walk that's the hard part about the whole thing.
Correct.
And I wouldn't change it for the world. I wouldn't, you know, we went through our ups and downs just like anybody else, right? But love conquered all, and we stayed together, and we had a good bond. Our kids understand family values. You know, we still have that dinner where we sit down and we eat together. You know, and you know, eat together, play together, stay together.
What do we say to the young child that's growing up and who don't have the foundation, having a father home in the home? What do we say to those? That segment, and unfortunately, is so many.
It is.
The numbers are too high.
It is.
But what do we say to them?
You got to cling on to the right positive person that's in your life. There's plenty of role models that are out there that can really help you get along. You know, the unfortunate part about it is that sometimes when you get into that situation, and we talked about the streets a little bit more, that streets look a little bit better than the actual right path. And then sometimes you get jammed up on that street where, you know, you just get into that vicious cycle, and that you're going. And that love and that care and that nurturing that they're looking for, they think they found it in the streets, and they kind of stay in that rut. So I would venture to say is hang on, look for that positive person that's going to be in your life, whether it's your minister, whether it's your deacon, whether it's an honor, an uncle,
you talk about that
or
coach, that's what makes sports so important.
whatever it is. And you do your own process, right? You do your own processing through that value, and you need to find out if that person is giving you what you need, right? And understanding that. And the hardest part about that is that definition between right and wrong that people say, oh, you're 13, you should know the difference between right and wrong. Well, if you've been taught wrong for so long, you think wrong is right. So you actually do get in reverse to that.
That's right.
So you just got to, you just got to be able to have that instinct, I should say, that knowing that, you know, this just don't feel right.
Yes,
you know what I mean? I need to make sure that you hold on to something positive, and knowing that there's always an opportunity for everybody. You know, there's an opportunity for everybody to do something, and you just have to, just like we talked about before, set your goals, write them down, look at them every day, and keep on that path that you're going on in a positive manner, and make it through.
Yes, sir. So what is the future looking like for Jonathan Young? Yeah.
Oof,
You got
man.
Hey, you want
I
to
gotta,
share, man?
I don't want
What
to
does
jinx
the future
myself
look
there.
like?
You know, I
Yes.
think I'm going to, no matter what capacity of public service life I live in, I think I want to definitely stay on that path and continue on that path. It's just something that I'm born with. And I believe it's the right thing to do. You know, Jeff Nash is a colleague of mine on the Freeholder Board. When I first came on, he said, you know, son, he
Mr.
goes,
Jeffrey Nash,
he said, this is the best job that you can ever have. It's the best. And I just said, what are you talking about, Jeff? You know? So, but if you think about it, you're in a position, you know, we make policy and we do things that affect over 500,000 people. That's pretty crazy, right?
Yes,
and you know what I mean? Think
be in a
about that.
position to do
yeah,
that.
you know
That's
what I mean?
right.
So when you do that and you think about every decision you make, and you talk about that Freeholder Board for just a second, you know, I tell the people all the time, 7 of us up there, not one of us a politician. 7 citizens who really, really care for the folks of this city and for the folks of this county.
Yes, sir.
And that's the truth. And when I hear, you know, you never know, you know, you're always on the outside, you're looking in, and people are looking, but you never know what are in the thoughts of these people's minds until you sit down and start having conversation with them, and you start really figuring out how true they are. And I'm telling you, they have this county in the best interest in every decision that's made. You know, and it's just, it's factoring everything that's done. You know, there's always discussion. There's never, you know, since I've been on the board, there's never been any arguments. You got a lot of departments that kind of cross over and hang out with each other, and they say, hey, I got an idea. Why don't we do X, Y, and Z? You never see somebody go, stay away from my department. We're not doing that. It's like, hey, you know what? That's a good idea. Let's make that work. Let's see what we can do with that. And that leadership is what really keeps this well-oiled machine really running and really starting to flourish. And what happens is you see that same demographic starting to filter down to the cities and to the municipalities. And when you talk about that trust factor and saying that, hey, you know what? You guys got the right interests in mind for me, right? And we were just at the program the other day, right? The Black Legislative Caucus. And Senator Ron Wright said it the best. He said, listen, at some point, you got to get in the weeds with them.
That's right.
Right?
Yes,
you can't keep fighting them all the time to try to get what you want. At some
That's right.
point, you
Correct.
have to work with them, right?
That's right.
So, and then that's our theory one. If you look at that freeholder board, you got an African American, you got an Asian woman, you have Italian, you have a Jewish, you have a Puerto Rican, you have, you know, you got a young, you got old, you got a mix. It's a true blend of what this county is made of.
Yes, sir.
And that's what it's all about. So in that respect itself, you're seeing that there's a conscious effort to make sure that everybody in this county is accounted for.
It's hell accounted
And
for. That's right.
and we're representing, you know, the masses of people that are in this county.
Yeah, I know. I can speak to that myself, being a young black man who's Muslim, and that the county and the city government and the county government and the people in the county has been very receptive to, you know, to all.
That's right.
And to bring him in, and it could be an example of what I think other counties and other cities and municipalities should be doing, and working with young black Muslims and the Nation of Islam, things like that. It's just great. It's for them to segue in that conversation.
Yeah, I mean, because the
sir.
bottom line is okay, hey, your religion is what your religion is, right?
That's right.
Bottom line is you're American, you're a taxpaying citizen, right?
That's right.
And you deserve the respect just as anybody else does.
That's right.
And so if, you know, you have your needs and you have everything that you need for it, you know, and I never really knew, I've never been any close to anybody in the Muslim faith as I've been close to you, and following you and watching what you're doing and see how that you are, you know, in the streets vigorously fighting and fighting and fighting. And it's amazing, right? Because, you know, you think about it, you know, what you see on TV, right? You know, everything's worked on 30-second blurbs now, right?
Yes,
so
sir.
they're only going to give you that negative, right?
Correct.
But you're a good man. You know,
Yes, sir.
you're doing good work.
Yes, sir.
You know, and I see what you're doing with your son. I see what you're doing with the young men that's following you in the upbringing, the discipline that's there, and the community involvement that's there, and that's huge. That's very, very important to your community. It's very important to me. You know, as a black man myself, knowing that, hey, you know what, I'm not in this thing by myself.
Yes,
you know what I mean? I mean, there are a lot of good black men in this world and in this county, in this city, who are trying to do the right thing. And like I said before, if you ain't riding the train, you're getting ran over.
Yes, sir.
That's
So
it.
you're at the table, you're on the menu.
That's right. That's right. That's it. That's it.
That's how it goes.
That is
And I just wanted to say to you that the sentiments are the same. The respect that you can tell, some people just garner respect when you see them because they things they say and the things you see them fighting for. Understand? So, real quick before we wind down on this show, the public safety. We know it has an issue. What can we say to the young people about in and around the county? I know we talk about public safety in Camden a lot.
Sure.
And that's heavy lifting
Sure.
on all aspects of things. What can we expect in the county about public safety? And is the county moving more towards they understanding the community policing paradigm? Is it, you know, is it county feeling safer now because Camden is safe?
It is, and
safer.
right? And you see it because of the businesses that are moving here, right? And that's the first piece to the puzzle, was to get it to a point where people can say, you know what, I could work there. You know, I feel safe from walking from the waterfront to the Walter Rand, to get on the train, to get on up out of here. You know what I mean? I can see that, and you can feel that. But you do get that sense. You do get that sense of that Camden is rising, and everywhere we go, we preach it and we talk about it, and we tell folks, listen, if y'all was smart, you know, y'all get that Paco speed line. All you speed line trains, towns,
Yes.
start building it. As you go up Haddon Avenue, as you follow that speed line going down, you're seeing development going on up.
That's right.
And that's that stuff that we're talking about is, as the city goes, the rest of the county goes.
That's right.
So you're starting to see it happening. You're starting to see it be effective, and it's great to see. It's really, really great to see. I came on board at a very good time where I got to meet the president.
Yes, sir.
Which was pretty
That was an
awesome.
honor. That was an honorable 8 years. It
was unbelievable,
Yes,
and you
sir.
know, for me to have to come on board at the right time and for that to happen, it was really remarkable. Got an opportunity to have a couple words with a great man, John Lewis. Was able to speak to him
Yes,
for
sir.
a couple seconds. You know what I mean? And just for him to say thank you to me.
Yes, sir.
For what I do, and I go, whoa, hold on, man.
Yes,
you know,
sir.
wait a minute. Hey,
You took the Billy Club
yeah,
inside.
that's right. You know what I mean? I'm
Yes,
small
sir.
compared to what you've done, but
Yes, sir.
but to have those opportunities and it just only shows what just a small kid from a little suburban town on the outside of Philadelphia, comes up and to be sitting on the 12th floor of City Hall at times and looking out and saying, wow,
Yes, sir.
it's really, really remarkable, and I'm very, very blessed.
So is there anything else you would like to say as we segue to the last few minutes of this conversation?
Best thing I can do and end with is set your goals. Be ambitious. You know what I mean? Don't let anybody tell you no. Anybody tell you cannot do it and you can't get it through. You know what I mean? And just stay the course. Stay the course. Grab onto somebody positive. Hold on tight. Go as long as you can go for the ride. And then once you're free to go by yourself, continue to ride.
Yes, sir.
Continue to ride.
Will
sir.
DeYoung.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks a lot. I enjoyed
Absolutely.
this conversation.
Yep.
Will you come again?
Absolutely.
Yes,
no
indeed.
doubt about it. No doubt about it.
There we go. We have it. I know I enjoyed this hour conversation, and we definitely intend to bring you more. All we say is stay happy, stay positive, and as always, love yourself. And it all starts with self, and it all starts with the way you feel about yourself is the way you're going to treat and feel about others. And others view you based on how you treat yourself, and that's why self-love is so very important. And don't go anywhere. Tune in to our next show that we're going to have at the Wasim Muhammad Show, as we're going to have plenty more guests for you to talk to you and to inspire you and give you the information that the people need in our community. But as always, I thank you and I greet you as I came to you with the greetings of peace. Peace be unto you. Yes, sir.